Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks, and somebody's trying to make a set of dominoes, and they're trying to build indexing lines and then put circles inside an indexing line. That doesn't really work because there's nothing to snap to, so we need to do just the opposite and build it where it's going to snap to the lines. But on this particular domino with rounded corners, I'm going to have it stop there on the node. Grab another one, have it stop to the node. Then I'm going to bring one from the top, and you need to be kind of near your line and have it snap to the node. Because we could index off here, but we really want to index off this rounded corner. So now I'm going to take a 2-point line, holding down the control button, and I'm going to put it right on this edge and it snap to. Now this distance, we'll bring in another indexing line. We'll take the parallel dimension tool and measure this line. And I'm off somehow because a while ago it was 11 or 13. Let's make sure I'm on this node. That's the intersection of my two lines. There's the node. So now let's measure and see if it's not 13. And whenever you're doing that, once you start moving, you hold down the control button. So we're at 13.13. So I'm going to change my nudge factor. So I'm going to put my line back, have it snap to that line. I'm going to change my nudge factor to half of that, which is 0.065. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate, and then I'm going to move that line over to this side. And I'm going to nudge it. And I'm going to nudge it. So now we've got two lines. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select this other line. So now I've got two objects selected on layer 1. Go up to Effects, Blend, and I'm going to blend it 5 times. Stay with me. Now, we do not need, now you need to go up to Object, Break Blend Apart, Object, Group, and Ungroup. We do not need this line. We do not need this line, or this line, or this line. That's our line we're going to put our dots on. So now we're going to do the same thing, and you'll see it works out pretty good. I'm going to put this on top, Control D and make a duplicate, put it to the bottom and nudge it up at 0.65. Nudge it down 0.65. Now, holding down the Shift key, select both of them, blend it 5 times. Now, we do not need this line. Well, see, I didn't unblend them. Break blend apart, object, go up to Object and Group, Ungroup. We do not need this line, this line, this line, or this line. And we do not need our guidelines anymore. We can delete them, or we can go right up here and just turn them off. So now we have our coordinates. So I'm going to take and have it snap to those lines. And to do that, you need to be kind of in the middle on that X to have it snap to the center. Now, we don't need all these dots, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in there so you can kind of see that they're all the same. So we'll put it on the center. And it actually says intersection because it's intersecting those two lines. Whoop. See how you need to be on that X. Somehow I'm moving it after I let it go. My mouse is doing something funny. Get a little closer, get that other one. All right, now we can take away these lines. Now, some of you might be asking, well, why didn't you put the bottom ones in? Well, because we don't have to. And we're going to group this together, Control G. Control D and make a duplicate of it. And then mirror it. I didn't make a duplicate, evidently. Yeah, I did. All right, let's put P, put it back in the center page. Control D, and then mirror it. I wonder if it's just not showing me. I guess it's because it's got that fill. Let's do this. Let's get one copy. Let's take away this fill. We took away the fill for the whole thing. Let's ungroup it. Take away the fill. Now we're going to cook. Control G, Control D, and then flip it. All right. But we've got two copies. So now we need to select everything. Go up to Object, Group, and ungroup all. We're going to have two boxes. Let's move that one. Just delete it. And I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 1 inch so we can actually see them move. We only need one of these. We're going to delete it. And then there are only going to be one of this set, but there's going to be two of the top set. Well, it's not the case. I just want to make sure. Yep. So we're good. I'm just nudging them back. So now we have all our dominoes, and I think in the correct space around the edges from bottom to top. Now, here's what you need, and this is the way I would do it from here on out. Control D and make a duplicate and nudge it over. Okay, so, well, take that back. You're never going to need 9. You're only going to need 6. Well, at some point you are. You're going to need that center one. I don't think we ever need these two. Okay. Control D and make a duplicate. All right. Take away the center one, all of them. And the reason I did this, because we are going to need that center one in a little bit. So what you want to do is go ahead and Control D and make quite a few more and get it out of the way. So you need a 6 by 6. Then you need a 6 by 5. Then you need a 6 by 4. Then you need a 6 by 3. Then you need a 6 by 2. And you actually need a 6 by 1. Control D and make a duplicate. And then just take away, and you can come in from the side and select all those 3. So now you have 6 by 6, 6 by 5, 6 by 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep a duplicate of that guy. And I just grabbed the outer part. So Control D, and I'm going to put one up top so we won't mess it up. Control D. Now we need 5s. So the 5 is everything but these. And I could have made this, done this before I duplicated it. And the more you do it, the more you'll get. So now we don't need I'm a little confused. I guess we don't need 6 anymore. So we need a 6 by, or a 5 by 5. Then we need a 5 by 4. Then we need a 5 by 3. Then we need a 5 by 2. Then we need a 5 by 1. I haven't played dominoes in a long time, but I think there's only one 6x6 and only one 6x5, right? So this is the way it's going to go, so you don't really need this one. And then you would just keep going till you have the 4s. I might be totally wrong on that. I'd have to go back and look at a set of dominoes. Because surely you wouldn't have but a 6x5 once. And I guess it would just keep getting, then you need 4s. That's how I would do it. I think it would be a lot easier to have it snap to the line than trying to snap to inside guidelines. I hope that made sense a little bit.